Imagine waking up one morning to find that the boundary between your mind and the machine world has vanished. Your thoughts can access infinite knowledge instantly. You can design, simulate, and experience entire worlds inside your consciousness. Diseases are gone, death is optional, and intelligence, human and artificial, has become indistinguishable. This isn't a distant fantasy. According to futurist Ray Kurzweil, it's the next step in our evolution. Welcome to the Singularity is Nearer, a roadmap to humanity's transformation, where biology meets technology and consciousness transcends its limits. In 2005, Kurzweil introduced the world to his bold vision of the singularity, the moment when humans merge with artificial intelligence, leading to an unimaginable explosion of progress. 2 decades later, in The Singularity is Nearer, he revisits that vision, armed with new evidence. The exponential growth of computing power, AI breakthroughs, and biotechnology now prove that the singularity is not science fiction. It's accelerating toward us. Kurzweil identifies 3 key forces: computing, biology, and nanotechnology. Each is evolving exponentially, feeding the other, and driving us toward a point where human intelligence merges seamlessly with machines. This isn't about robots replacing us. It's about us becoming something greater. Chapter 1. Where are we in the 6 stages? Kurzweil begins by framing human history as part of a grand cosmic process, an unfolding of information through 6 great epochs. Each stage is built upon the previous, each representing an exponential leap in complexity and intelligence. The story begins not with humanity, but with the universe itself. Epoch 1. Physics and chemistry. In the aftermath of the Big Bang, the basic rules of the cosmos emerged. Forces like gravity, electromagnetism, and the nuclear interactions that allow atoms to form. It was an extraordinarily fine-tuned setup. A slightly weaker gravitational constant, and stars could not have formed. A slightly stronger one, and stars would have burned out too quickly for life to arise. From this delicate balance, matter itself became the first processor of information. Epoch 2. Biology. Over billions of years, chemistry gave birth to biology. Molecules became self-replicating. DNA emerged as a molecular code, a storage system for information that could evolve. Life began, slowly improving its ability to store and process data about its environment. Evolution became a computation, an algorithm optimizing for survival. Epoch 3. Brains. As life grew more complex, neural systems arose. Brains, organic networks of information processors, allowed animals to think, remember, and plan. This represented a dramatic shift. Instead of evolution taking millions of years to adapt a species, individuals could learn within a single lifetime. Epoch 4. Technology. Humanity arrived, wielding not just brains but tools. We externalized our intelligence into written language, libraries, and digital systems. Every innovation, from stone tools to supercomputers, extended the reach of our minds. Kurzweil argues that the 4th epoch marks the beginning of a new evolutionary process. Evolution through design. Epoch 5. The merger of human and machine intelligence. This is where we stand on the brink. Brain-computer interfaces will soon connect our neocortex to the cloud. Our biological neurons will seamlessly integrate with digital ones. Kurzweil envisions that by the 2030s, humans will think in partnership with AI, sharing thoughts, memories, and creative processes across vast networks. Intelligence will no longer be confined to the skull. It will become distributed. Epoch 6. Intelligence saturates the universe. Ultimately, Kurzweil foresees a future where matter itself becomes computational, where intelligence reorganizes the cosmos into a thinking substrate. Every atom becomes part of a universal mind. The singularity, expected around 2045, is the gateway to this transformation. For Kurzweil, this is not mystical. It's the logical continuation of evolution's story. Each epoch accelerates faster than the last. We're no longer just witnesses. We are participants in creation itself. Chapter 2. Reinventing Intelligence. Kurzweil turns to the roots of artificial intelligence and the quest to rebuild the human mind in silicon. He revisits 1950, when Alan Turing posed his immortal question, "Can machines think?" That thought experiment led to the Turing test, a challenge to build a machine that could communicate indistinguishably from a human. This was not just a scientific test, it was a philosophical declaration. If thought could be simulated, perhaps consciousness itself could be engineered. The 1956 Dartmouth Conference formally birthed AI as a field. Early pioneers like Marvin Minsky, John McCarthy, and Herbert Simon believed intelligence could be captured through logic and symbolic reasoning, machines following explicit rules. These expert systems could solve math, diagnose diseases, and play games, but they struggled with ambiguity and nuance. Kurzweil calls this the complexity ceiling. Each new rule created unintended interactions, making systems brittle and narrow. In contrast, the connectionist approach, neural networks, mimicked how the brain works. Instead of rules, it relied on pattern recognition and learning. Each node, like a neuron, contributed to a vast web of weighted connections. Early neural networks, such as Frank Rosenblatt's perceptron, were simple but limited. In 1969, Minsky and Papert mathematically proved that such single-layer networks couldn't handle complex tasks, and the field of AI went into hibernation. Decades later, exponential growth in computing resurrected connectionism. With the power of GPUs and enormous datasets, neural networks evolved into deep learning systems, machines capable of seeing, speaking, and writing. Kurzweil notes that advances once predicted to take 50 years, like natural language understanding, are happening now. AI models like GPT and Gemini, he writes, are the embryonic forms of general intelligence. Kurzweil connects this to human neuroscience. The cerebellum, which controls motion and coordination, represents an early form of pattern storage, learning physical actions through repetition. The neocortex, which governs abstract thought, is built from repeating modular structures that store and interpret hierarchical patterns. By linking our biological neocortex to cloud-based computation, we can expand this architecture exponentially. The merger of brain and machine will reinvent intelligence itself, not by replacing humanity, but by amplifying it. Chapter 3. Who am I? Kurzweil now confronts the question at the heart of all technological and philosophical inquiry. What is consciousness? What makes you you? He argues that identity is not tied to biology, but to patterns of information. Consciousness, in his view, is the subjective experience of a system complex enough to model itself. Whether that system is made of neurons or transistors doesn't matter. He dismantles the idea that consciousness is an ineffable soul beyond replication. If you could map every neuron and synapse in the brain, the firing patterns, memories, and emotional weights, you could recreate the same conscious experience in another substrate. If such a copy of you existed, it would think it was you, remember your childhood, love your friends, and continue your projects. The debate then shifts. Is that continuity or duplication? Kurzweil suggests that identity persists through the continuity of pattern, not matter. This leads to staggering implications. Digital immortality becomes possible. You could back up your mind, edit it, or restore it after death. Death would become less an end and more an interruption. Kurzweil doesn't dismiss the emotional or spiritual dimensions of this. He embraces them, arguing that consciousness expansion is the natural destiny of life. Just as evolution transcended biology, consciousness will transcend mortality. Chapter 4. Life is getting exponentially better. Despite fears of dystopia, Kurzweil reminds us that human life has improved faster than most realize. Through the lens of exponential growth, progress is not linear, but accelerating. Poverty rates have dropped drastically. Lifespans have lengthened. Access to information, education, and healthcare has exploded. He introduces the law of accelerating returns. The idea that every technological generation builds the foundation for the next, doubling its capabilities. Information technology makes biology a data science. Biology fuels advances in medicine. Medicine extends the creativity of humans who build new technologies. The feedback loop accelerates prosperity. Kurzweil backs this with statistics. The cost of sequencing a human genome has dropped from billions of dollars to less than 100. AI now diagnoses cancer better than radiologists, predicts protein structures, and designs new drugs. Nanotechnology is reshaping energy production and material science. Even global challenges like hunger and pollution are trending toward solutions through innovation. The problem, Kurzweil argues, isn't that the world is getting worse. It's that human perception lags behind reality. Media amplifies crises because linear minds struggle to grasp exponential improvement. To him, optimism isn't naive, it's mathematical. Every major indicator of human well-being points upward. Ultimately, the Singularity is nearer portrays humanity not at a point of collapse, but at the cusp of transcendence. The future isn't a machine apocalypse. It's a human awakening driven by intelligence itself, the most powerful force in the universe. Chapter 5. The Future of Jobs, Good or Bad? Kurzweil acknowledges the anxiety many feel about AI-driven automation, but he insists that technological progress has always disrupted and then expanded the nature of work. He argues that the fear of machines replacing humans is as old as the Industrial Revolution, and yet each wave of automation has ultimately created more prosperity and freedom. He outlines how, historically, every transformative technology, from the printing press to electricity, eliminated certain jobs but created many more in new fields. The rise of AI will follow the same pattern, but the transition will be faster and more challenging. In the short term, repetitive and routine tasks will vanish. Entire professions built on predictable systems, data entry, logistics management, basic legal and accounting functions, will be automated. However, Kurzweil predicts that new forms of employment will emerge in creative, interpersonal, and design-oriented domains. The key skill will not be memorization or manual expertise, but adaptability, creativity, and collaboration with intelligent systems. Kurzweil envisions a future where humans and AIs work symbiotically. People won't be replaced, they'll be enhanced. A scientist will think in partnership with a neural network that can simulate molecular structures instantly. A teacher will personalize lessons for every student using AI-driven cognitive models. A musician will compose symphonies with algorithms that understand emotion. This age of hybrid intelligence will amplify human potential rather than diminish it. But this transition also raises questions of purpose. If material needs are met by machines, what will drive us? Kurzweil believes that as physical labor becomes obsolete, society will pivot toward activities that express meaning, creativity, learning, art, and exploration. The economy of the future, he predicts, will not be based on scarcity, but on abundance. Work will be less about survival and more about self-actualization. Humanity's greatest challenge will be psychological, not economic, finding meaning in a world where anything is possible. Chapter 6. The Next 30 Years in Health and Well-Being. Kurzweil's optimism shines brightest when he discusses the coming health revolution. He believes that medicine is about to evolve from reactive to predictive, from treating illness to engineering biology itself. The convergence of biotechnology, nanotechnology, and artificial intelligence will make this transformation inevitable. He foresees nanobots, microscopic machines, circulating through the bloodstream, repairing tissues, detecting diseases before symptoms appear, and delivering precise therapies directly to cells. These nanomedical agents will serve as an immune system 2.0, fighting viruses, cancers, and genetic defects. Meanwhile, CRISPR and advanced gene editing tools will rewrite the very code of life, eradicating hereditary conditions and allowing us to design stronger, longer-living bodies. Kurzweil predicts that by the 2030s, humans will reach what he calls longevity escape velocity, the point at which medical advances extend our lifespan faster than time passes. Every year you live, science buys you more than a year of additional life. Death, as we know it, becomes optional. He also explores the intersection of mind and body enhancement. Brain-computer interfaces will restore lost senses, repair neural damage, and even expand human emotion and perception. People will be able to control prosthetics as naturally as limbs or transfer knowledge directly from one mind to another. Aging will become a manageable condition, treated through nanocellular repair and biological rejuvenation. Kurzweil doesn't present this as distant speculation. It's already happening. AI is decoding protein folding, accelerating drug discovery, and mapping the genome of every disease. The 21st century, he insists, will not just extend human life, but fundamentally redefine what it means to be alive. Chapter 7. Peril. Kurzweil admits that every exponential technology carries both promise and peril. The same systems that can heal could also destroy. Artificial intelligence could misalign with human values. Biotechnology could be weaponized. Nanotech could spiral out of control. Yet he argues that human ingenuity and moral reasoning have consistently outpaced our dangers. The tools of creation have always been double-edged, but humanity has learned to wield them with increasing wisdom. He examines several existential risks. Unaligned AI poses the greatest threat. If machines surpass us in intelligence but not ethics, their goals may conflict with ours. Synthetic biology could unleash engineered pathogens more devastating than any natural disease. Nanotechnology, if misused, could lead to self-replicating gray goo that consumes matter uncontrollably. Kurzweil stresses that the key to avoiding these outcomes is not fear or regulation alone, but the acceleration of ethical intelligence, the development of moral and compassionate systems alongside technical ones. He envisions global cooperation between governments, researchers, and AI itself. Transparency, oversight, and shared ethical frameworks will be crucial. He believes that open-source collaboration and AI auditing systems can make future technologies self-correcting. In the same way that the Internet created a distributed network of knowledge, he foresees a distributed network of safety, intelligence watching intelligence. Ultimately, Kurzweil sees peril as a natural part of evolution's complexity. The stakes are higher than ever, but so is our capacity to handle them. Our success will depend not on halting innovation, but on accelerating wisdom. Chapter 8. Dialogue with Cassandra. The book's conclusion takes the form of a dialogue, a conversation between Ray Kurzweil and Cassandra, the mythic voice of skepticism. Cassandra questions his relentless optimism. She asks, what if progress destroys meaning? What if AI surpasses empathy? What if we lose our humanity in the pursuit of perfection? Kurzweil responds with calm conviction. He argues that humanity has always feared its own tools. Fire once seemed uncontrollable. Electricity was once seen as dangerous magic. Yet every leap forward expanded not just our capability, but our compassion. Technology, he says, is an expression of our deepest drive to transcend limitations. The singularity will not erase humanity. It will universalize it. Love, creativity, and consciousness will not end. They will scale. Cassandra presses further. Will individuality survive when minds merge? Will emotions still matter when intellect becomes infinite? Kurzweil answers that emotion and meaning are not obstacles to intelligence. They are its purpose. The merger with AI will amplify our ability to feel, to connect, to create beauty. Our sense of self will evolve, not vanish. Through their dialogue, Kurzweil acknowledges the fears that accompany such a radical transformation, but reframes them as growing pains of evolution. The singularity is not the extinction of the human spirit. It is its flowering. By 2045, when biological and digital intelligence unite, humanity will not have ended. It will have just begun a new chapter of existence, where consciousness itself becomes the canvas of creation. By 2045, Kurzweil predicts the singularity will arrive. We will merge with our machines, expand our consciousness, and reshape reality itself. What began as evolution through DNA will continue as evolution through design. The question is not if we'll reach this point, but how we'll choose to use it. The singularity is nearer, and with it comes the greatest decision humanity has ever faced: to fear our future or to create it.